Oh yes, you're welcome to a fresh edition of our program Summit. It's the midweek edition. And it's my pleasure to invite you to join us as usual, where we dissect issues in the political, socio-economic and all of that. But for this edition, all eyes are on Ondo, one of the off-cycle elections in the polity. You know, coming after Edo elections, Ondo is always the next, and the gladiators are set to actually slug it out. That's come November 16th, Saturday, Saturday, to determine who becomes the next governor of Ondo State. You are welcome. My name is Banji Busari. Jumoke is on the field doing the work. But be sure that she's going to join us very, very soon. You are welcome. On today's edition, we are looking at politics, and we couldn't have got a better person for that issue, particularly for the fact that he's somebody you may call Sean of the soil, somebody who has been in that geopolitical zone, in that axis for some time, and has been part of the political development in Ondo and Ekiti. A seasoned journalist, communication strategist. It's my pleasure to welcome on board Mr. Ademola Adegoke. Of course, he's no stranger to this program. You must have seen him a lot of times because his views are very, very, very objective, and you can actually rely on his submissions. So he's always our choice when it comes to some issues in the politics. It's our pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Banji. Thanks so much for having me again. I hope Jumoke comes back, finishes our feed assignment so soon, and we can have her back.
Yes, Jumoke will be joining us next week by God's grace. The off-cycle elections to start with. We've had Edo. We know how it went. Now Ondo, maybe Anambra next, and all that. The off-cycle elections have certain advantages that people think, naturally, they enjoy. That's those states. For instance, let us start from the issue of security. The IGP has actually come out to say over 22,000 policemen have been deployed to that state to oversee the elections. That's security and all of that. So that's one advantage. There probably wouldn't have been that kind of advantage if it was the general elections, and some other advantages. But let's look at the issue of the campaigns to start with. Do you think the campaigns, particularly there are 17 political parties, but the most prominent ones, we have had Labour Party rule the state, we have had PDP rule the state, currently APC is in the saddle. Those are the three major political parties. Of course, there are several others, 17 of them. Now, let's look, the campaign issues, were they issue-based? Would you say they actually addressed the issues that are relevant to the development of the state?
I've been monitoring the campaign, and like you have said, I am never too far from that part of the country, and especially from the opposition side, they have been hinging their campaign on reviving the old glory, so to speak, of Ondo State, saying that nothing is working under the present administration, and well, you expect that will always come up, from the opposition. So they have tried enough to appeal, to people, or to people's feelings, so that they can, for example, the issue of minimum wage. Even during their debate, the candidate of the PDP, Agbola Ajayi, said instead of the 73,000 that the present governor is paying, he will offer 76. I don't know what difference that really makes. But you know, as far as issues are concerned, I mean, especially the opposition is trying so much to bring up issues. How well those issues now resonate with the electorate is another thing entirely. But maybe another issue that the opposition has also been hinging on in Ondo State is the issue of maybe they've made that part of their campaign as well, the issue of fairness of INEC, which they have spoken to so much. So maybe as the program progresses, we will also look at that.
But one of the issues, still going back to the issues from the point of view of the opposition, is the issue of the membership of oil-producing states. That Ondo State is a member of NDDC, and that has not impacted in the development, particularly in the riverine areas. That the development is at the lowest ebb.
You see, I am not. You see, for me, I am not. I won't speak for any of for either of the two leading parties, but the issue of underdevelopment of the riverine areas has been there for long. It's been there for long. Yes, like you said, that state has been ruled by first, you know, it was AD under Adebayo Adefarati. It was succeeded by someone you can call a son of the soil of the riverine of the oil producing area. That is the Kale Ilaje side, Dr. Agagu. I mean, the issue has been there. And now Mimiko came. It was even Adefarati that established, and I think it was the first of its type in the country, that established Ondo State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, you know, patterning it after the NDDC or the defunct OMPADEC that now give back to, that now, you know, give birth to metamorphose to NDDC. So it was Hadi Farati that came up with that initiative. And one would have expected that you know, successive government after him will have taken advantage of that to actually concentrate on the development of that area. But government after government, nothing really has been happening in the oil producing areas, to the extent that even one of those areas, Ayetoro, is under the threat of being washed away by the by ocean surge presently. So the opposition will always want to have something to you know, base its campaign on, but I do not know if, even if Agbola Ajayi wins, I don't know whether, you know, the lot of the people of that area will change for the better. That is just my own personal opinion.
Okay, let's delve into the profile of maybe the two leading political parties, candidates now. We have the case of Lucky Aiyedatiwa. Lucky Aiyedatiwa happened to be the deputy governor to the late Akeredolu.
Just as Agbola Ajayi too was.
Deputy, of course,
before he was
deputy governors. I mean, who was Aiyedatiwa has been upgraded to governor now. Now let's look at the case of Aiyedatiwa, who has been deputy governor, now transformed, upgraded to the governor. How would you say he has taken advantage of the last 11 months to reshape the affairs of the state Yeah, it's something he had dreamt about, and of course he had issues with his party about his inordinate ambition, but he eventually got it. Would you say he has taken full advantage of that?
Well,
I mean,
as a non-partisan analyst, for me, I have not seen, that much transformation in Ondo State within the last 11 months, such that you could say this man has actually hit the ground running. I am yet to see, but maybe another school of thought will say that maybe 11 months is just too short a period to want to, gauge the performance of the government. Had just 11 months, and that will be. I'm saying that I'm presenting the issue as I'm presenting issues as they are. One side of it is that I have said that personally I have not seen much. You understand, in terms of transformation. Ondo State is a place that I'm not too far away from at any period in time. But like I've said, maybe some other school of thought will say, okay, let's give him a chance. 11 months is just too short, and probably that he's not really executing his own program, or that some of the things he's doing now, maybe they are legacy programs of the late governor or of his former boss. Maybe some people may want to excuse him on that ground, but for me personally, I have not seen much transformation in that state.
I also watched the debate on air where the opposition, that's Agbola, was saying that the people of Ondo State have been so much impoverished, so much so that all they wait for is the federal allocation from Abuja, and once they get it, everything goes round. And then no development, no investment.
I have said it. I have said it.
There's no development. That's not calculated.
Affairs of the state. I have said it for 10 times. That situation, you will agree with me, is not peculiar to Ondo State alone. The federal system, the unitarized, so to speak, federal system that we practice has made has sort of drained our governors, drained thinking out of our and initiatives out of our governors. Maybe with the exception of Lagos, Ogun, Rivers, probably Kano, maybe that have a reasonable level of internally generated revenue. What do you see in most other states? It's a beggarly situation. They just go to Abuja, collect the FAC, come back to their state, and then disburse. And then they pride themselves on paying salaries that have been able to pay salaries. As if, when you hire workers, the responsibility is not on you ab initio to know that you should pay them. So they now make, payment of salaries an achievement in governance. So that speaks to the situation in all states. But talking about Ondo State is one state that is so blessed with natural resources that if it taps into those natural resources, the state has no business waiting for federal allocation. Ajayi may be right in saying that. What I still do not know, well, maybe the question we will also ask Ajayi is that, yes, you are right, maybe the present government too, they can do better in terms of internally generated revenue, in terms of, attraction of for FDIs, foreign direct investments, and all of that. Maybe they can do better. Ajayi has been a local government chairman, before now. So he has risen through the ranks, of the political ladder. So one expects some of the issues he's bringing up now. Where was he before now? So it only tells us that politicians, they will sweet-tongue us when they are looking for office. When they are seeking office, they say all sorts of things. But when they get there, it's another thing entirely.
It's another thing entirely. Now, let's focusing on November 16 now. What issues do you, from the benefit of hindsight, would you say would determine the choice of who becomes the next governor in the state?
The issues that we determine, one, there is this.
The state has had about 3 political parties. So nobody knows where the pendulum may actually swing.
But you see,
are they really tied to any political party?
The people are not tied to any political party, and that is maybe one good thing that our evolving democracy is bringing up, if you like. People seem to be, winning themselves out of attachment to, to any political party, especially in this part of the country. Ondo State is one state, like you have said, has been ruled by different parties at a time when Labour Party was, completely unknown, virtually unknown. Mimiko came up, by dint of the backing of the people. And he became governor, and he unseated a sitting governor, Agaguden. So that tells you the independent mindedness of the people of the state. So the electorate in Ondo State can be said to be well enlightened enough not, to sift through, the profile of each candidate rather than, undue attachment to any political party. So, but in this election, one, the issues that will be playing out are, one, this zoning, the zoning arrangement in the state, and good a thing that the 2 of them are, from Ondo South. The 2 of them are from Ondo South. Both Aiyedatiwa and Agbola Ajayi, they are even from the same part of Ondo South. But now, apart from coming from the same part of the state, from the same senatorial district, one thing that the people will also be looking at, and that is one thing, that if you now look at it, that the votes may be split between the 2 of them in the southern senatorial district. Let's go to other zones, that is the central and the north. And that the man that left, the man Akeredolu, was from Owo, the northern senatorial district. The man that left before him was from, he's from the central, that is Ondo. So now it is the turn of the south. You understand? But the way it is now, the present candidate can only do 1 term. He can only do 1 term, and because he can do 1 term, the others, the central, you understand, they may want to give him all the support, knowing that he just has 1 term. I'm telling you, the incumbent, he only has 1 term. I'm telling you the intrigues now. You understand? People from the central, especially, they say after, when he leaves, it will be the turn. Their turn. But even the people of the south, major politicians from the south too, they are giving this man all the support he can have. You recall that at the beginning, there were rumbles and ripples, within the party when he emerged the candidate of the party. But maybe when they were spoken to say, this man just has 1 term, Why don't you give him the chance to just serve his one term? And don't forget that when he leaves, the central will be looking at it. These are the intrigues. The central will be looking at it from the angle of, okay, he has one term. When he leaves, we can now say that it's our turn. You understand? That is the central. The South too, they'll be looking, major politicians from the South will be looking at it that after all.
Why do we have to negotiate for one time when we can have two times?
No. I mean, the politicians there now will be saying, come, if this man leaves, we will still claim that it is our own. You understand? Let us give him the support now. When he leaves, the likes of Shola Iji, Oyedele, Olushola Oke, Jimo Ibrahim, those are all, key players from the South, and they are all backing this governor, believing that when he leaves, they will still claim their remaining term. So,
on the other hand, I'm also saying that. Since Agola Jai has never had a shot, I mean, if he wins the election, he may have 2 times at a go. He may have 2
terms at a go.
So, I mean, looking at analyzing the issues, the politicians may opt for Agola Jai, who may have 2 times at a go.
No, the ambitious politicians, we want to opt for Ayedatiwa, because in their thinking it will favor them, because they will claim that it is still, the call is still for the South. Right. You understand? So they can have another shot at it, even when Ayedatiwa leaves. Okay,
I haven't reviewed those fundamental issues. Let's look at Saturday now. What do you think in your own mind? I mean, how have you seen the preparedness of INEC in handling these elections?
The INEC chairman was there last week, and he said they have learnt their lesson from past elections, and that Ondo State election will be better even than the Edo one that they just had. That they learnt their lesson in terms of timely upload of results and all of that. So for me, I am one person, I said it on this program before, that I am one person that I want to trust INEC. You understand? I want to, no matter what anybody wants to say, I want to trust INEC, knowing that INEC on its own does not rig election. It is the politicians, you understand, desperate politicians who probably connive with some elements within the INEC to want to have their way. And I'm a believer in institutions, because if we have institutions that we don't believe in our institutions, then we can't get anywhere with those institutions. As bad as our police is, for example.
Who does the buck stop?
It stops on the buck of INEC anyway.
Ballot snatching of ballots.
But who does that?
All of that.
But who does that?
What steps? I mean, how would you say, what measures have actually been put in place to forestall if it has happened over and over?
Will
it continue?
It shouldn't continue, but we can't blame. For instance. Vote. Okay, who do you blame for vote buying? Is it INEC you want to blame for vote buying?
There have been prosecution of those who have been involved in vote buying.
You see, I
serve as deterrent to those who may have the inkling to do
I served in a government institution where people flout the rule. You understand? And people will ask, why don't you get them prosecuted and all of that? And I say that, see, our own is to provide, we are just utility provider. When we provide the utility, you understand, we don't have any security outfit of our own. when we lodge report that this person has flouted the rule, has broken the law of setback, for example, we are not town planning authority that should go and destroy it, because if we do that, you understand. So you discover that if you are blaming INEC now for people, doing vote buying, INEC does not have police to go and INEC, the constitutional responsibility of INEC is to organize election, is to conduct, and to put every measure in place. Yes, they are to work in synergy with other organizations. But if those agencies of government fail to do their own bit, you can't heap all the blame on INEC. So as far as what's going to happen on Saturday, the people also have a role to play. And the role they have to play is to say no to certain things that we know happen, like vote buying. It takes two to tango. If there are no buyers, there won't be sellers.
Let's also not.
And if there are no sellers, there won't be buyers.
Ondo State is, as we have indicated in the program, is a river. Part of Ondo State is a riverine. There will be challenges.
Yes.
Much more than Edo State.
Much more than Edo State.
Would you expect the INEC to come back and say, "Oh, those things
I won't expect that. If INEC does that, then INEC now stands, culpable and condemnable for that. You understand? So there are things that I won't excuse INEC for responsibilities that are purely, within its own powers. You understand, to carry out. So if INEC, if election materials do not get to site on time, we will blame INEC for that, because they ought to have made every logistic arrangement. But if INEC now deploys the election materials and some hoodlums or political, thugs, go and waylay them on the way, and ensure that the materials do not get to the destinations. Who do you blame for that? Even if you want to say INEC, you should have made enough security arrangement to see that that does not happen. Yes, you may want to say that, but you will also want to blame politicians who are desperate. Because if the purpose, I say it all the time, if the purpose is to serve, why must you be too desperate? If it is all to serve, and the people are saying no, why should I be bothered? So it then means that when our politicians, when they are vying for any political office, they see in there, much beyond service to the people.
Let's move to the security. Most of your talks have been dominated by the support from the security forces. 22,000
policemen
have been deployed to Ondo State for this election. Now, what are your expectations for this Saturday? Do you think the number alone is sufficient for us to be sure to be guaranteed?
The number alone, I'm going to say that it is not about the number. It is about the determination. It is about the commitment to duty. It is about dutifulness of the officers. It is not about number. You may litter every space in Ondo State with policemen and security agents. What if they are bought out? You understand? If they offer themselves, to be bought over. So it is not just enough. There must be adequate monitoring. And this is where, election in our own space here is something that it's for all of us. Let me say, ensuring free, fair, and credible election cannot be left, in the hands of the security forces alone. Cannot be left in the hands of INEC alone.
This
cannot be
partisanship from either the police, INEC, or all these, even some of the stakeholders.
Well, you can't rule that out because we are all political animals, so we speak. But one expects that INEC should be as impartial as possible. One expects that the police should just do their duty, the security agents should just do their duty. But when they fail, you understand, they must, there must be people who monitor them and who will, bring their deficiency to the fore for all of us, to the notice and attention of every one of us to see that they have failed, in their duties.
Ondo State, Ekiti State, your people are reputed, so to speak, in court, to be, when it comes to elections, they want to slug it out. They want to ensure that they get their rights protected, whatever it takes to do that. Sometimes you see, violence and all of that. It's almost the order of the day.
But you will.
So do you still suspect that?
No. I think that the more people are getting enlightened, the less of that we are seeing. Yes, like you have said, my people like to fight for their rights, but they have also discovered that it is not only through violence that you fight for your rights. You can always assert your right, through the instrumentality of the law. You understand? And that is gaining traction more and more, because if there is any state where the law has been used to upturn unfavorable electoral decisions, it is in that part of the country, So Agagu was unseated by Labour Party, by Mimiko, through the instrumentality of the law. Fayemi unseated Oni in Ekiti through the instrumentality of the law. And so many like that, so many. This woman, what's her name now, a senator, unseated a senator of the ruling party at the federal level, that's Olujimi, unseated Adeyeye. So, there have been so many of such experiences, and that now has given the people that peace of mind that no matter what happens, we will try as much as possible to protect our votes. But in case, it goes the other way, we know that we can always retrieve whatever has been stolen from us through the instrumentality of the law.
Okay, so as we custom, just give your final word on this forthcoming elections. Now, it is not just going to be a case of we have had elections. Our elections are opportunity for us to improve on the previous ones.
Yes, there should be. My final word is that, especially to the people of Ondo State as they go to the polls on Saturday, is that please ensure you cast your vote in a very peaceful manner. No need for violence, no need for, just cast your votes and then ensure that, your votes are protected. And for our youth, don't offer yourself, to be used by any politician, because if anything happens to you, it is just you and your family. The politician keeps his own children elsewhere and sends them, to the best of schools. So why should you now put your own life on the line for any politician? So that is my message to the people of Ondo State. I wish everyone a very peaceful polling experience on Saturday.
Yeah, you can. That's a very good one. That's a very good point to hang the discussion. Free, fair, credible elections. That's what Nigerians are looking for. 4-2 coming from Ondo State after this Saturday. That's November 16th. Gubernatorial elections in Ondo State. And Nigeria is also advancing like other parts of the world. Let us prove to the world that yes, our elections can be upped in terms of security, in terms of credibility and all of that. That is where we should be focusing come Saturday. That's where we should be focusing this Saturday. All the stakeholders, police, INEC, and all of that should actually up their ante and ensure that they deliver a much better election to us. away from what has happened in the past. My name is Banji Busari, but of course we are transiting to the next segment, that's the activities of the current administration of Lagos State, led by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. But I won't do all that without thanking my guest here, Mr. Ademola Adegoke, who has actually brought out issues, enlightened us, and giving us much information about what is likely to happen on Saturday and where we should be as a nation. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me once again.
And your time.
I
appreciate you always.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you.
That's been our package today on Summit